do to you guys defensively, and why does that make it so difficult? Even if maybe there isn't a shot at the end of that movement, just that they are moving that much.
Yeah, I mean, I think the purpose, I guess there are occasions when they've moved and they've cut and they've screened um, but I think they get a ton of shots out of that cutting and moving and screening and backdooring. They get layups, they get threes. Everything they do is got good purpose, great purpose, and often times does result in a scoring opportunity. And if and when they haven't gotten anything out of the cutting and screening and everything, and then whether it be Butler or Adebayo, can then play one-on-one from spots and to kind of play that type of basketball after the cutting and screening.
I know effort maybe isn't the right word, like that. I guess maybe mental effort, that would be just kind of what pressure does that put on guys? Like PJ was talking before, he's like, you just got to be on all the time. Like there's no chance, like there's no possession where you're just gonna sit and your guys gonna be in the corner. Like you have to be on all the time.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a mental and a physical, focus and attention to detail and effort that it takes, to when teams are moving and cutting and screening with purpose. It challenges you defensively. So certainly Miami is one of those teams that's effective, and we need to do everything we can to make those situations guard them as well or better than anybody. And it takes a great mental focus, a great mental effort, along with a great physical effort.
I know you're not going to lay out your game plan for me or anything like that. But last year, Wes spent a bunch of time on Jimmy Butler. Like that was one of like your main matchup for him. Was kind of Wesley Matthews. Like, how do you expect to kind of step up into that role? I know Drew has spent a lot of time on bigger wings this year. Just how do you kind of expect? I know you didn't see Jimmy this year, so no one got any reps on him during the regular season. But just kind of how you kind of conceptualizing that.
Yeah, I think with the way the roster's been constructed, I think the way we've grown defensively, I would phrase it as everybody's going to guard Jimmy Butler. We are going to guard Jimmy Butler. We're going to guard Goran Dragic. We're going to guard the Miami Heat. So, I think I understand the emphasis on matchups and different things like that, and they're important. But I think the way we've played all year is there's a lot of versatility and how we can match up and what we can do, and a lot of respect for everybody, particularly just their whole roster. But there'll be different people guarding Butler, Dragic, Hero, Robinson, up and down the list.
Steve McGargy.
Talked about the Heat's offense. I was just wondering defensively what they do that kind of gives not just y'all, but it's given so many teams so many problems. What makes them so effective defensively?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's an activity, a length, a physicality that they bring. That I think it's probably more often than not. If you're playing for the Miami Heat, there's a high expectations for what they do defensively, and there's always a physicality. There's always a commitment. And once you have that, you can just build from there. So a lot of respect for, Coach Spoelstra, what the Heat have done, not just this year, but, historically and culturally. That defense is important to them. And that's where it always starts.
Zora?
Hey, Coach, I don't think we've asked you about Thanasis since the update came out about his injury. One, is there any procedure or like any surgery that he's going to need for that particular injury? And then two, how involved has he been this week, even if it's just kind of being vocal from the sidelines?
Yeah, no, there's no surgery, for Thanasis, sorry, and he's been very active, very vocal, in film, in practice, in breakdowns. That's one of the great things about Thanasis. I think he brings a lot to the team, and so he's kind of been there and as active as possible, and he's doing rehab, and I think just the first 2, 3, 4 days have been good and positive for him.
Jim Ozarski.
Mike, I know throughout the year, you've talked a lot about the self scout and focus on ourselves, but acknowledging that those little 2 games in 3 days or the back-to-backs allowed for some opponent scouting. I guess as you've hit this week and in the playoffs, is there a difference in how you guys self scout? I mean, I don't know. First of all, you get a whole week to maybe review yourselves, but also you've had time to scout other teams in season. I don't know. Is there a difference, or do you see a benefit maybe to this playoff run that you've had that throughout the year when maybe you haven't in the past?
Yeah, I mean, I think, pretty consistently during the season, said that we liked, those kind of when you played the same opponent. I would say particularly with a day in between. And I just think, it always gets tougher when you play a team the second time and you're more familiar with each other and you got to go to, different things. But as we go into the first game of a series, the level of preparation, the level of kind of attention to detail is raised. That you wouldn't see going into the first game, of a regular season, kind of playing the same team twice, whether it be a back-to-back or with days between. So, but I just think there's a mental approach, a mental side that, hopefully the guys have kind of had some, for lack of a better word, practice, and so now the prep this week going into game one. And I think every team had a chance to kind of be sharper mentally and just kind of get those opportunities for prep and installation and then execution.
Considering how unique this week is or has been, I don't know. Did you go all the way back to the start of the year, or were there certain landmarks where you wanted to have your staff or the video guys go back and look and how you did things or how you improved or didn't, you know what I mean? And you just normally don't get this kind of time to really self-evaluate in that way. So I didn't know if you took advantage of that or if there's a danger maybe like overwhelming yourself with just too much of
yourself. Trying not to overcoach is a big goal, so like that's, at the end of the day, you need to build your habits. You need to kind of be establishing what's important to you defensively, offensively throughout the season. And, to overcoach and or change and do too much, we are, coaches certainly capable of probably crossing that line. And so hopefully we're conscientious of, just staying the course, continuing to build on what we've been doing, the level of, going back and looking at what Miami has done either against us or other opponents is pretty deep. What we do has been building and continuing through the end of the season. And I think we just want to build on that and, going back or anything like that. There's just more of a mission of keep moving, keep improving, and being prepared and aware of Miami.
All right, one more to Chancellor Johnson.
Hey, Coach, when you guys signed Bobby Portis last year, did you guys expect for him to be hovering around 50% from three? And I know he took a big jump from last year when he was in New York. And how has it helped you guys space the floor? Yeah,
for anybody to hover around 50% from the three-point line that's pretty rare air. But we had a ton of confidence in Bobby as a shooter. Really thought. The way the ball comes off his fingers, his hands, he's a big time shooter. So hopefully just with spacing, playing with Giannis, playing with Drew, playing with Chris, trying to get him good looks and good opportunities, felt like it would be a good fit. And, credit to him, he's put work and time in, and but he came to us as a good shooter, and he's proved that. He puts the time and work and effort in, and just love what he's doing. Really, both ends of the court, he's been really good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, bud.